You guys think you ready for your next comment? Make some noise for you. Think so, yeah? Let's get him up here. Give it up for the very funny Lucas Molandes.
I've been trying to get back on drinking too. Just being sober might help. Here's the thing, I'm 30 years old, which isn't old, but it's the oldest I've ever been, so it feels kind of significant. I try to keep that in mind. I've been living at home with my parents for the past couple of years, and I don't know what's more depressing, living at home when you're 30 or wanting to run away from home when you're 30. Those are the questions that haunt me as I'm laying awake in the trundle bed in the parents' guest room. Like, I don't know what the answer is to that one, but what do? Go back to college, maybe? Make this work? But, like, I can't go back because I already owe $25,000 in student loans and I didn't graduate. And I think if you have student loans and you don't graduate, you shouldn't have to pay them back, you know? They bet on the wrong horse as far as I'm concerned. They don't see it that way. They're sending me aggressive letters saying they're going to hold my credit hostage until I pay them back, which is weird because, like, my credit and my future are both kind of the same thing in that I never had one, but I ruined both of them somehow. Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, I can't, it's not that I don't want to pay them back, it's just that I work in retail and I make $9.50 an hour and I live paycheck to paycheck, which I don't know if you know what that's like, but that's like running a relay race that ends when you die or you break a leg. And if you're lucky, you do that shit on the clock. Workers' comp is like a poor man's version of the lottery, which is weird because so is the lottery, so I don't even know what that's about. I learned as I've gotten older that I don't have to know everything, and, you know, like, the Native Americans made the dream catcher, and they couldn't even catch the American dream, so, like, why do I have to know everything, you know, like, no, I think that's the thing about life, is you learn, nobody ever really figures this shit out, like, you'll see a guy in his, like, mid-50s or early, like, 50s goes out, buys a new car, and starts dating women half his age, and he starts partying, and people are like, oh, that's gross, he's having a midlife crisis. But I'm like, what do you mean crisis? It sounds like that guy's enjoying his life again. That's not a crisis. That sounds like a midlife revival, if you ask me. A woman half your age willing to have sex with you, that's not a crisis. That's just karma's way of paying you back for all the years of hair loss and weight gain and all the little feral mouth breathers that you call children that have ruined your life for the past 18 years. So I say, take it while you can, because it's not always going to be there, you know? One day you're going to wake up old, dumb, and full of pills, sitting in some nursing home arts and crafts class, making a casket out of popsicle sticks, you know? Wishing you had gone to the alley with that hooker back in '88. Even if she had given you AIDS, at least having AIDS would be better than having room temperature applesauce for the rest of your day. And it's weird because people will say, like, go out and live life like there's no tomorrow. But they mean, like, you know, run with the bulls or bungee jump. But the sad thing is, when you're, like, 90 years old and you have to live life like there's no tomorrow, you're not going to be able to. Because chances are you're not going to find a bungee cord that can support you and your dialysis machine. And even if you do, as soon as that rope hits full tension, you're just going to come spilling out of your skin like a boiled chicken. So, like, what's the fun in that? Where's the incentive of getting old? Definitely not in that, man. Try to live your whole life with some form of dignity just so you can make it to the end, and then you get to this point where you're just in a hospital bed and the only time your grandkids get near you is when somebody dares them to touch one of your spots. And as soon as they do, your skin just blackens up like a dying banana because your flesh is weaker than wet Kleenex. So I'm saying, go out, have fun, enjoy your life, and sin a little bit, because if you don't sin, then Jesus died for no reason and you're just wasting his time anyway. I had a nightmare that some girl was going to stab me on stage. I don't know where that came from. But anytime I feel like it's going too wrong, I just, you know what? You know, Jesus never read the Bible, and I think he turned out just fine. I don't know anything. You know, when I was younger, my parents would read a story to me called The Little Engine That Could. And that's a story that teaches you through hard work and optimism you can achieve anything, which I think that's kind of bullshit as I get older. I don't know about you guys, but I think as I've gotten older, I've wondered what happened to the little engine that could as he got older, and life kind of tore into him a little bit. You know, the echoes of adoration from that one day where he did something awesome faded off into the distance and became a memory, and you know, he got older and obsolete. Nobody needed trains anymore, so he got fired from his job. And the only rails he's been on recently are the rails of cocaine that lead him straight to the gay bars every Friday night. And he goes and he picks up 3 or 4 train wreck dudes who are in the story about the one time he did something awesome, and he takes them back to his place and they have hot orgy sex with him, and he makes them choke him just so he can feel something again in his miserable life. His wife comes home early from her business trip, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is disgusting. I want a divorce." And she runs out of the room crying. He gets up and chases after her. He's naked and screaming like, "Bitch, you can't divorce me. I'm the little engine that could." He catches her out in the front yard, starts beating her in the face, and she climaxes immediately because she had a weird childhood. I guess what I'm trying to say is sobriety really not working out for me. Thanks a lot, guys.